Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool arcade game repair video for you this evening. Which one are we going to work on today? We're going to work on a Galaga or a Galaga. This is actually one of our most requested games. Everybody, after all these years, they still want Galaga or Miss Pac-Man. A lot of people say the name wrong. They'll say Gallagher. A lot of people call it Galaxian. Sometimes they'll come in and they'll say, yeah, that little game, and you use a ship and you try to shoot the bugs. Then you say, oh, yeah, that's Galaga. No, that's not it. Oh, okay, well, I'm not sure. Was it Galaxian? No, that's not it either. Well, I'm not sure. And then they'll wander around. Oh, it was Galaxy. That's what it was. It was Galaxy. And then you just got to play along. But they're obviously talking about Galaga. But that's how most people describe it. It's the game with the bugs that come down and you shoot it with the ship. Got a little ship at the bottom. But anyway, I've got two Galagas here. I picked up these in a storage bin deal. One of the guys that I know, he's actually in the business. He buys and sells arcade games and pinball machines and jukeboxes. He called me a couple months ago. I've had these kind of sitting around for a while. And he calls me all the time, actually. He's a good guy to know because he's always kind of sending me leads and referring people over here for the repairs because I guess he's just too busy. I'm not sure, but I know one thing he doesn't. He's kind of, you would think he'd be my competition, but he's not really because he's dealing with kind of more higher clientele, if that makes sense. He's dealing with ultra rich people. Usually he's selling them like $15,000, $20,000 pinball machines, if you can believe that. I'm dealing with the everyday person here. I'm at the lower end, but that's fine. I don't like having that much money tied up in one machine. Like I wouldn't want to sell a $20,000 pinball machine. You get one little nick on it, it hurts the value. I just don't like dealing with that stuff. I'd rather deal in the $1,000 to $2,000 range is usually what I do. But anyway, he had these two Galagas, 2 or 3 Pac-Mans, a few jukeboxes, and he sold them all to me for a reasonable price. I didn't really even negotiate because I wanted to make sure that he would keep calling me. If I went over there and I beat him totally down, he might not call me next time, but his price was fair, so I just went ahead and paid him. It kind of looks like he said that he had a couple of these already ready to go, and then something happened to him. This one, it looks like he probably had ready at some point because the control panel's been replaced. The bezel looks pretty good. There's not much burn-in on the monitor. He's already got a lock on it, which is kind of a giveaway. This is newer T-molding. A couple of the games I got from him, he acted like they were working, and then he had them in his showroom, and they broke, and he just moved them into storage because he didn't have time to mess with them. Maybe this is a trade back in or something. I'm not sure. I haven't plugged them in. I haven't done anything to them. This one's in much nicer shape, really. Somebody's trying to touch it up here or something. A lot of times, if you're touching something up, you got to make sure you get the right sheen. There's flat, there's gloss, there's satin. So if you've got a gloss game, you can't just try to touch it up with flat black. It doesn't work. So there's this one. And this one's in pretty good shape too, really, considering. But obviously the control panel's got a lot more wear on it. This is an original one. The bezel is not as nice on this one. It's flaking. marquee's got a big scratch on it. But this one would clean up nice too. Another thing he said is he wasn't sure if the boards were in them. So that's going to kind of be a letdown. But again, I got them at a good price. But yeah, I'm hoping I got at least one game board in there out of the two. The problem with Galaga is it was made by Namco and Bally, but it's got a lot of custom Namco chips on there. And once those chips die or the legs break on them, they're, you know, you're kind of out of luck. You got to get another chip from another Galaga board. A couple people were making replacements for a while, but now they're all out of stock everywhere too. So that's going to be our issue, is getting the board to work. The monitor's not a problem. The power supply is not a problem. The game board is going to be our holdup. And this one has a Miss Pac-Man back door. If you didn't know, Miss Pac-Man and Galaga are actually the same cabinet. And another little thing is these Galagas, a lot of these have this white film on it. I've had a bunch of these over the years, and I guess they came new from the factory with this white film to protect it. And a lot of people never peeled it off. Tron was like this too, and I'm sure a lot of the other Bally games. But I always take it off, because you know, then you got nice black wood underneath there. But anyway, I think we're going to try to focus on this nicer one here first. I don't know if we'll do both of them in the same video, but I'd like to get one working anyway. I've got a guy coming in the next couple of days. He said he was looking for a Galaga, or an original Galaga. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this done before he comes down, but I'd like to give it a shot. So hopefully I can just sell it to him. I won't even have to advertise it. That's a lot easier if you know, sometimes people email and they're looking for a game. It's a lot easier if you can just go ahead and sell it to them without having to take a bunch of pictures and advertise it all over Facebook and Craigslist and eBay and all that. But anyway, I'm going to take the back door off and we'll see what we're working with. Got the back door off. I was thinking it had some screws on it, but it had a lock. So then I had to look inside here. I found the key inside, and then I noticed the speaker grill was down there. I don't know how I didn't notice that the speaker was gone earlier. So then I was thinking, well, this isn't looking good. He's done took the speaker out. And sure enough, no game board. So that kind of stinks. So I'm really hoping this one has a game board in it, because if it doesn't, I guess that's going to be the end of this video. We'll see. This one's got some, this one looks like it's got some screws in it. Let's see. Let's see. Hope we got one board anyway. One screw in it. Let's see. Are you ready? It does have a board in it. So this one has the game board, but he stole the monitor chassis out of it, which this one had a G07 in it, looks like. So that's fine. Some weird, they hacked in a newer style power supply, which is pretty typical, but they usually don't go back with the box style like that. They usually put a screw terminal like this one. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, since I like this cabinet better, and this is the one I want to fix first, I'm just going to move that board from that cabinet into this cabinet. And this one's got a monitor in it. So I'm going to just switch the board and plug it in and see what happens. How's that sound? This is the video connector. Main edge connector. This is the power connector. And there's those legs, there's those chip legs I was talking about. Remember, see how they're all black? Those are all custom Namco chips. And they always have a problem usually. Sometimes you'll get lucky. And there's a bunch of them. See how there's two boards? But we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe I'll put it in there and it'll start playing. What do you think? How do you like this live action? Try to do all this one-handed. Bam. Video connector. Edge connector. Power. So that all looks good now. This is the rapid fire board, if you were wondering. And this is a 4600 monitor. Wells Gardner 4600. Somebody's already capped it, looks like. I can tell. Because that cap there is obviously new. The ones on the daughter board are obviously new. Everything looks pretty good to me. We're not going to have any sound. I don't really expect it to work anyway, but we'll plug it in. Got this live action here. No cuts. Sounds like the monitor's on. Marquee lights on. Come on, baby. It's booting. Don't come up with a RAM error. This is normal. Sometimes it does this. Don't freak out. We want it to say ROM okay, RAM okay. A little grid. All right, now we're in trouble. It should have only done it once or twice. But remember what that hippie said? Power supply, power supply, power supply. These Galagas are power hungry. They want a lot of juice. You gotta have more power to get through all those black legs on all those ROMs. So we'll check the power. Should I cut the camera off or should I just go ahead and get the multimeter? You want me to just go get the multimeter? Okay. Well, I got to go find it. I'm not prepared. Here we go. This is my good meter. This is from Todd. Boy, Todd's smart. He sent me this meter, and now every time I use it, he gets a shout out. Good old Todd. All right, let's see. Get it all stood up here for you. All right, so what's at the power supply. We only got 5 at the power supply. So I bet we don't even have 5 over here. .9. That's too low for Galaga. Galaga is power hungry. So now I got to get a small screwdriver and turn that power supply up a little bit. So I went and got some screwdrivers. And when I got back, I noticed it was on RAM 4L. Which you would think, that RAM 4L is bad. Which it could be bad. But could not be getting enough voltage to it. Like I say, Galaga likes the power. So I'm at 4.9 at the board over there. It would help if I showed you the board, I guess. 4.9 at the board. But I want it at like 5.3 or so. Wrong screwdriver. Let's try that. All right, so now we got to reset it, though. It's not going to do it on its own. We got to turn it off. It's got a nice little power switch up there. You see it? So it's off. See how there's no voltage? Now I'm going to turn it back on. All right, let's walk around. Hopefully that'll get it. What do you think? This is normal. This is the normal sequence. Booyah! It's almost like I've done this before. Power supply, power supply, power supply. All right, I think I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket because that doesn't usually happen like that. But every once in a while you get lucky, I guess. We still may have issues once I get the sound going. That's just weird to me that you would steal the speaker out of something. Like, if I need a speaker, I just order another speaker. I don't go stealing parts out of decent games. That's just weird to me. Like, if you've got one that's already missing the monitor and the board or something, maybe, if you had to have a speaker right then, but I don't know. I don't swap parts usually. I mean, I know you guys saw me take the board out of that one and put it in this one, but that's totally different. Totally different. But anyway, I'm going to go get a speaker and we'll see if it's sounding all right. So we're always going to the flea market looking for stuff, and that's just kind of how we spent our childhood, really. Our dad was really into selling stuff at flea markets. So I actually went to the flea market every weekend my entire life, pretty much, up until I opened up this store. So that's kind of how we got started. From a baby, I went to the flea market every Saturday and Sunday because my dad was a seller. And once he passed, I kept the booth. And I started selling video games, and that's kind of how we got started. So Ronnie still goes on Saturday. I usually open up the store, and Ronnie still goes to wander around, look for old radios and stuff, if you've got to watch our other channel. So last weekend, he was there. Came across this box. You can tell it looks like a laundry detergent box or something. But the guy had all these speakers in there. And a lot of them are 6x9s, which is what we use most of the time. And on Galaga and Pac-Man. They take a 6x9 and they look like they're new. They're just old. Which I'm putting them in an old machine. So this is going to be perfect for me. So anyway, we got this whole box. I think Ronnie said it was $15. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, some small ones in there too. Probably 10 speakers, I guess, for $15. So anyway, I'm gonna put one of these in there. I can get it out of here without messing it up. That ought to be just what I need. And the guy was nice enough. Whoever took the speaker out was nice enough to put the bolts and the speaker grill inside the coin box. So that's nice. I like it when they do that. It drives me crazy when people take stuff apart and then they'll lose all the hardware. And it's a lot of trouble sometimes to find, you know, the right size screw and stuff that you need. But anyway, I'm gonna put it all back together and we'll try it out. All right, I got it all put back together. I thought now might be a good time to show you our newest t-shirt. It's been a while since I mentioned it. I don't want to cram it down your throat every video, you know, like some people do. But I thought it might be a good opportunity because it is actually, this is based off a Galaga cabinet, and I am working on a Galaga. See the little spaceship down there and the galaxy in the back. And these are actually real silkscreen shirts, the old school way. It's not actually printed on there. You know, it's not going to wash off in the washing machine, you know, like the printed ones will. But anyway, if you're interested, if not, that's fine. But they're $25 plus $5 shipping. So that's $30. You have to email us though. It's lionsarcade@carolina.rr.com. And we'll send you our PayPal information. And we've got sizes small up to 3X. So just thought I'd mention it. Anyway, I got it cleaned up a little bit. I wiped off the monitor. I took the bezel off, cleaned the screen. My speaker fit perfectly. So that was a good deal. I got the marquee back on. And I'm just going to go ahead and play a game. I'm going to set up the tripod. We'll play it, see how it's working. If it plays good, there's a couple more things I want to do to it that I probably won't film. Like I think I'm going to touch up this black over here. I don't like how that is. I like to use satin black. Satin usually goes with everything. So I think I can blend that in a lot better. And this power supply in the back I need to change because that's those colored ones like that, I know that's an older power supply. That was probably put in 20 years ago. And I like to put new power supplies in pretty much everything we sell. And I like to have the spade connectors on there. I don't like how this works obviously, but I like to have the connectors on the end of them. They've just got the wires twisted and sticking in there, which works, but I like to have the spade connector. It's just a weird. And I'm probably gonna paint that back door black to match everything, obviously. But anyway, we'll set up the tripod and we'll see how she works. All right, here we go. So they've got the rapid fire on. That's good. That's the way I like it. Well, I think I broke it. I done broke it. Boy, I'm good. I'm so good. I broke the whole thing. Did you see that? I done glitched it. I done took it to the kill screen. Huh. Well, that's why we test it. What do you think? Should I just turn it off and back on? I better check the power again. All right, I gave it a little bit more juice, more power. I think that power supply might be going out on me. That's why I want to change it. Let's try it again. You gotta have good clean power. It'll cause all kinds of issues, you know. The 5 and the 12 might be drifting on that old power supply. I'm kind of like Ronnie. I don't like to get the double ship because it's a little bit harder to dodge stuff. See what happens when you get to talking? I'm not very good at Galaga anyway, obviously. Yeah, I think I wanted more power. Remember I was telling you, the Galaga just likes a lot of power. It's got a lot of those old chips on it. I took it to 5.4 and it seems to be fine now. I had it at 5.29 before. But I'm about to adjust it again anyway whenever I swap that power supply later. that coming. Need to adjust the monitor some more. I need to move it to the right a little bit. I got too big of a gap over there. Shouldn't have moved. I would have got him. Yeah, I want to adjust that little gap out of there. See how there's no stars over there? I'm going to have to adjust that later. I didn't notice that earlier. It's hard to tell on a black background game sometimes. Got me. Nope. Yep. Nope. It's a tricky one. Starting to get a little crazy. It's all over but the shouting. Game over. Well, it's working pretty good. $104,000. Well, I think that works pretty good, guys. I got to adjust that monitor. Got to swap that power supply, and I kind of got to watch it for a few days now that I saw it do that weird thing on it, that fourth level a minute ago. So I think that new power supply is going to fix that, but I'm still going to watch it for a couple days just to make sure. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.